Hello? Hello? Is anybody home? Hello? 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 Is anybody home? Hello? Hello? Did somebody want to say something? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Hello? Hello? Did somebody want to say something? I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you trying to say? I couldn't hear you. Hello? What we have here, Dr. Benji, is Oscar award-winning material. Stuff that'll never get out on TV because it's too subversive. I want to thank you all for coming back to another exciting episode of Why Can't People Stop Talking About Their Beliefs All the Time? Shh. Starring Dr. Benji, aka Jigsaw. Starring Doge MAGA, comedy, and Republican, and Dr. Yashua in another Alex Jones Joe Rogan podcast called Why Can't People Stop Talking About Their Beliefs? Shh. Welcome, Dr. Benji, back to Jigsaw, the ultimate game. Well, who will win? Okay, let's try to do the same show. Let me change the title of this room. That actor, whoever the hell he is, dude, that guy has been paid so much money for this shit, and he's like the ultimate meme at this point. So we're gonna call this Saw, the Puppet Master, and then we'll do Jigsaw. Who will win? Uh, we'll call it 1 minute lightning round. So everybody gets 1 minute to say their piece. Only 1 minute. I don't know, like, if we could, I'll have to get a timer or something, but yeah, let me get a timer on the phone. It'll be 1 minute rapid hour speech for anybody that wants to testify or lack thereof. And every 5 minutes, I'll do a Jigsaw interval with music, and then I'll hit the cut on YouTube. So this is a co-production for an experimental television show. It's basically called, Prove to Me God Exists. But you could also call it Saw the Puppet Master, Who Will Win? And this is like essentially spoken word 1 minute clips on YouTube. That's the goal of the show, is to create outlandish 1 minute clips of spoken testimony. And we did a pretty good job in the last room, but I wasn't creating clips. But this time I will, if anybody wants to come in and submit their testimony. But I don't know if they will. I mean, we kind of burned this out. This has been going on for like 2 to 3 hours now. So I don't know if there's anybody left or if anybody will actually come to this room, because this profile doesn't have many people. How many friends do you have? 1.4? Yeah, you should be able to draw people in, but.
Yeah, everywhere I go, they draw in. Just gotta give us some time.
Yeah, they gotta sit there and scroll through the bullshit. That's why people don't like it when people go
silent and stuff, so they just come draw in, and they approach sooner or later. The game always begins. Just gotta know how to orchestrate it.
Well, we are 7 minutes and 33 seconds into this production. The maximum time that we're going to devote to this is I'm going to do a hard out at 6 p.m. and call it quits for my day of live streaming, because we have already created, 100 plus videos today, hundreds of videos this week, and it's been a long week of trolling, I assure you. A lot of content has been created.
Yeah, I was looking for the YouTube channel so I could go watch it. I didn't know which one was it though.
It's in my profile. Every profile has a YouTube connected to it. Ooh, Aleph is here. Welcome, Dr. Aleph. Ooh, he left. The main one is called Doge Republican. That one has 6,100 videos on it, which is the biggest YouTube account. It has like 1,700 subscribers.
Which one you was live on in the last one?
Doge Republican. D-O-G, Doge Republican. TKD Kenny, welcome. Oh, let me just, did I pin it? Doge Republicans. That's a different one. Let me find the main one for you. Is it Doge Republicans? Oh no. Shit. This is the live for this room. And then that account is the main YouTube account for this production effort. So welcome back, everybody, to Saw, the Puppet Master, Who Will Win, starring Jigsaw. Honey Badger is like the perfect. He sounds just like Longmont Potion Castle. Do you know who Longmont Potion Castle is, Benji? So let me just quickly play for you the reason why I'm doing this, because I have been recording people on YouTube now and just creating these 1 minute clips, and I have been calling them prank calls. And everybody outside of the joke doesn't know that these are people having actual conversations, but they think they're prank calls because they sound so ridiculous. So, for example, listen to this.
Hi, this is Russo from.
This is technically what Honey Badger is kind of doing in a way. Listen to this.
Drug Dumpling.
From Drug Dumpling?
So we'll be collecting any unused medications that you have on Tuesday. Just wanted to let you know, okay?
No, I need all my medications. You can't do that. Who is this?
My name's Russo Newton.
Russo Newton.
We'll accept any unused medication that you have, sir, for safe disposal.
All I have that I don't use is my Prozac, and I don't think I'm supposed to give it away.
We will even accept illicit drugs at this time. I have been authorized to accept those.
No. I take Adderall, and you can't have that. That's mine. I don't know how you got this number or what company you're with. This is ridiculous.
I'm with Drug Dumpling.
How the hell did you get this number? Are you from the police?
No. Just prepare any unused drugs and medication that you have, and we'll take those for safe disposal on Tuesday afternoon.
Hold on a second. Let me ask my wife. Have you ever heard of something called Drug Dumpling?
No.
You have?
Yeah.
What the hell is it?
Don't do drugs?
They don't? Okay. So it's a legitimate company?
Yeah.
All right.
So can you give us an idea of what you'll be having prepared for us, sir?
I had Prozac and gabapentin.
Any hashish or marijuana at all in your system?
No, that's not legal in Texas. No. I hate marijuana.
Okay.
What's that noise? I just heard a weird noise. It sounds like you're next to a car.
No, we're in our office here.
Merci d'avoir appelé RBC Assurance.
Hello?
I'm here.
What was that?
That's not on our end,
What
sir.
the hell is this? What was that? I just heard a phone ringing.
Well, it's a very busy office. I'm sorry.
No, I heard someone on the line.
And you're sure you're not taking marijuana or hashish?
No, I hate drugs. The only drugs I take are the ones that are prescribed.
Okay, but
Who is this?
you're saying you're hearing voices and different things? I'm just checking, that's
I'm
all.
not hearing voices. It was on the phone.
Not on
What do you
ours.
mean am I hearing voices? I take antipsychotics. I don't hear voices anymore. I heard a phone ring.
Well, it's a very busy office. I apologize. But you agreed to donate your unused medications on Tuesday.
Thanks for calling the Trinity White Knight organization of men, women, and children. What is that?
What is what?
I just heard a voice and a phone ringing. It said something about men, women, and children.
Okay, so and you're not taking hashish at this time.
No, I don't take hashish. I don't take marijuana. I don't take cocaine. I don't take meth. I don't take heroin. I don't take drugs. I take drugs that are prescribed by a doctor. Who are you? Russo? Like Rene Russo? Is that how you say it?
Yes. Okay.
Did someone gave you my number? Take me off your list. I don't think I want to give you my medications. I'm just going to flush them.
No. That's not good for the water
What the hell
supply.
was that? Did you hear that? That was your voice just echoed.
You claim you're not using hashish or marijuana.
No, I don't take hashish or marijuana.
But you're saying you're hearing voices and echoing. It sounds to me like you're on marijuana.
I think your phone's on marijuana. It's echoing and I keep hearing a voice.
It's not on this end, sir. I'm trying to explain to you, and we don't want your drugs in the water supply. That's the whole reason we're collecting unused medication, okay? On Tuesday.
And how long have you been in business?
I've worked here for about 7 months.
Okay, how come I've never heard of you?
Okay. So that's how long
It
I...
did it again! It did it again!
I can hear you fine.
I don't know what's going on. Nice, but I'm playing. There it is again! How can you not hear that?
Hear what? Okay, let me just recap with you. I don't want to take up too much of your time. You're going to have Adderall and marijuana for us on Tuesday for pickup.
No, I don't take marijuana.
Then what are we picking
I'm
up?
on probation. I can't do drugs. I get my urine tested every month.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice
No
messaging
worries.
system.
Okay, what the hell is that? Hello?
Hi, yeah, this is Suzuki with Drug Dumpling calling.
Yeah. Why are you calling me? Because, like, what do you want?
We're going to be collecting any of your unused medications and drugs on Tuesday
What the fuck
afternoon.
is it? What is it? Then what do I have? What do you want?
Anything you have. We can accept any unused
But I
medication.
don't. Like, you're asking the wrong question.
We can even accept illicit drugs at this time. We have been authorized, by the way.
I don't. Again, you're asking the wrong question to the wrong person. What's your problem? How did you get my number? What's the point? You're passing the point and becoming accusatory.
Marijuana, hashish, anything like that, sir?
Again, what's the point? Is there a point to
It
this?
sounds like you've been using a little marijuana. We can accept any unused hashish, marijuana, for instance.
Hey, man. Hey, excuse me. Hi. Oh, okay.
I'm
I know you
Suzuki.
probably could be. I understand what you could be, and that's fine. And I'm gonna take this fucking personally. I'm gonna fucking find you. I don't use drugs. I'm gonna fuck you up over this. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna track this. I'm gonna fucking find you. I'm gonna fucking hurt you over this. Do you understand what that is? And I'm fine with what this is. Okay? All right? That's verbal assault, and I'm fine with that. And I'm gonna finish the job. You got this? Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Sir, what seems to be the trouble here today?
Hello?
Hi, this is Suzuki with Drug Dumpling. We're going to be by on Tuesday to collect any unused medications and any drugs that you want to get rid of in a safe manner.
Oh,
Just wanted to let you know.
I bet you will. Hey, do you guys have boofing manuals that Multnomah County printed out? You got the clean needles, bro? The fuck is this? You calling people saying that? You fucking crazy, man?
Well, we want to preserve the water supply and keep it out of the hands of
Oh,
children.
fuck yeah, bro. Fuck yeah, man. Why don't you go fucking talk to all the junkies fucking hanging out up the street? Go deal with them. Go take their drugs. What the fuck? Man,
Fucking joke.
What about the children, sir?
you just call me. I don't have no drugs. I don't have any marijuana.
It sounds like you might, if you want to know the truth. So we'll take it off your hands.
Yeah, I bet you would.
I mean, hey, maybe 20 years ago, yeah, but not today.
It sounds like you might have some methamphetamine.
So that's the basis of the show. Essentially, it's a prank call show. I mean, everybody on Clown House is essentially engaging in a prank call show. So welcome back to the game.
Do you have a passion for cars like me?
But first, an advertisement to get you to take out a student loan with the government to go back to school. Okay, that's the whole show. That's 21 minutes. Nobody wanted to come and play the game.
Or these things become so much more difficult now. And also, the main thing is also this uncertainty that is playing. So therefore, it makes sense why oil has dropped since Donald Trump made this announcement with tariff.
I mean, we're also forgetting the fact that, in the last 5, I'll be conservative of 5 years. I mean, we've had a huge push for electric vehicles, and so I think one can argue that with higher folks, consumers buying electric vehicles, I mean, they can't sell the oil at the same prices, and that would also affect how much oil they're producing because they don't have they're a fraction of those cars that they were selling to for oil. For oil, people buying other forms of energy vehicles with running on other alternative energy.
Yeah, that's also right. So you got to also see that oil prices were rising since Donald Trump took to office. So there was an expectation from the market that he is business friendly and so forth. That was the theme that the market was looking at. And then since he started to have these sort of trade wars and trade barriers, initially the market actually thought that it's just a negotiation tool. He's not going to actually do it, but he is serious about it. And as he actually implements these things, all of these things are telltale signs of what is about to come. So none of these things, people are actually fools. And so there's a collective wisdom in the market. When you look at the market, the group of people actually deciding and thinking that this is what's going to happen. And there is a wisdom in the stock market. So oil prices is dropping. That indicates that the demand is going to be lower. And coupled with tariff, there's going to be increase in the prices of goods where you purchase in the United States and elsewhere in the world as well. So, which means that you're not going to be able to consume these things because of higher prices. So you're going to have higher prices, and as a result of it, you're going to have a stagnant economy, which is not good for people. And the people who are going to be affected by these, it is the poor people and the middle class also. The rich people would be affected in terms of their share prices.
You said it yourself like 10 times already. We know what the market is. We know how tariffs are going to affect the poor people. You yourself said it. Can we?
I said at the University of Arizona.
To the point, conversation to Steve's point on the number of oil rigs.
Let me just say one thing too.
I said
This
at the
tariff
University of
stuff
Arizona.
is not like a 6-week return. The dimensions involved here obviously are economic, but you have political dimensions involved with this. You got supply chains and all the other things that come around with it. Now, something this complex and you throw into it, a disruption into a world market with multiple countries, different forms of government, different economies. This is not going to shake out quick. So anyone that looks at this and says, well, 2 months of this and I can tell you where it's going, they're either being disingenuous or they're just not understanding what could happen here. This is high stakes poker, and the high stakes poker that Donald Trump is playing here is we have the number one consumer market for buying stuff in the world. That, in his mind, gives him leverage. Now, the leverage that he's exerting because of that economic ace in the hole that he's holding here is what he thinks he can cut better deals with. And that could take anywhere from 2, it might take 6. We might even see 9 months before we see this oscillation and shaking out, fully buying its bottom. So 1 month, 2 months, you don't know where this is going.
Well, this should concern you, Steve, because you might lose your retirement if you have any. If it's going to go for 9 months, Jesus fucking Christ, sorry.
Yeah, but that's also another thing. So now we don't see that in hard data. So these effects are actually being, there's a lag between what's happening, and then now you're going to see that in hard data in terms of people getting laid off and so forth. There will be a reaction from that within the market as these data filters in. And then the Federal Reserve, that would be the time that the Federal Reserve would start to act. And these are the times that the Federal Reserve would be starting to cut the interest rate in order to stimulate the unemployment and all of that effects that is going to be about to come and to unfold.
Cut, right? Because if you have a stagflation scenario, and the Fed's main mandate, I mean, there's multiple mandates, but one of the main mandates would be to moderate inflation, right? You can be in a scenario where you're just in a protracted, like, declining demand environment, right? Just a long-term recession into the system, so.
Yeah, you're right. So this is a very difficult time for the Federal Reserve. On one hand, you have higher prices, and on the other hand, you have unemployment.
What it does is it whispers you can't do anything.
Prioritize? So this is what the stagflation is. So the Federal Reserve is going to be in a very tricky position now.
They clearly communicated that they are not going to be prioritizing employment already. And that is correct. They are constrained by the tariffs.
It's hard to say now. We have to wait for the news of. I think they will try and stimulate the economy. I don't know, to be honest. But this is the dilemma. On one hand, you have higher prices. So if you try to stimulate the economy, then the prices goes up. But on the other hand, the other mandate is about employment. So yeah, which one as a Federal Reserve you prioritize, that remain to be seen.
Did you watch the Powell speech yesterday or the day before?
I did. I certainly did. Yes. Yeah. I mean,
he clearly not is in a favor of at this moment stimulating the economy and considering the employment part of the mandate. I agree that he's in a bind, but like. What Federal Reserve Chair would at this moment, given the constraints that he's in, stimulate the economy?
Right. He has to see the hard data. As unemployment increase, then he has to do something. And then at the same time, this is the bind. At the same time, the interest rates are, the prices of goods are higher. So that is an incredibly tricky situation. At this moment, nobody would want to wish to be in the Federal Reserve. So it's going to be very challenging.
Well, he could do this. He could simply stand pat and see where this oscillation in the market bottoms out to. Does it bottom out to where there's more investment coming in? Does it bottom out to where there's an increased trade war? We don't know. And to say that the Fed on 3 weeks worth of data should be making long-term economic policy, I think them understanding what it's play here too. If you didn't understand the dynamics of what was at play, and there was like a year of market data to drive decision, maybe. But you're talking about the Fed changing policy on a month of data. That makes absolutely no sense.
No, I didn't say that. When the data comes, so all these uncertainties and so forth, and slowing down of the economy, which means that people are going to lose a job, and that data is going to filter through. And also the sales of goods. So as with a higher tariff, Apple won't be able to sell much iPhones as they have. So the investors in these companies, they demand higher return for their investment. And if they can't, then on the one hand, the stock market keeps on tumbling down. And on the other hand, you have also people who don't have jobs, layoffs and things like that. So if you don't stimulate, then you run the risk of the entire market is actually keep on going down. But the other option is as you stimulate the economy, then the prices keeps on going up. So this is the bind that the Federal Reserve is in. So it's a very tricky situation for them.
Yeah, but you're assuming a worst case scenario here. We've already seen that Vietnam, I'm not sure if it's prime minister or president or what the designation they put on their leader in Vietnam. He's already contracted Trump, and they're in negotiations right now trying to see how they can shape the difference in inbound and outbound trade between the two companies. This could be, because we really don't know, the start of the dominoes that start falling, and it could find its bottom quicker, or it may take longer. We just don't know. But to project out that all these things are going to have catastrophic consequences without knowing how this is going to shake out, I think it's a little foolish.
No, despite what it is,
the opposite. Opposite reaction from China. We're going to see the opposite reaction from the European Union.
Yeah,
I mean, opposite demeanor from Canada.
Well,
right.
Do you not?
But you can't bring Vietnam into this.
Yeah, can you? Like,
I was just saying, I think it's interesting to focus on Vietnam when there was tariffs imposed on, a whole swath of countries, and some of which had not. The most important trading partners have actually, if they haven't already had a negative response, they're signaling that they're going to have some type of reciprocal response to it.
Right, that's right. So because the reason is because Vietnam is much more of a smaller country, and then they already have like tariffs in place. So whereas we have countries that they have more of a free trade agreement and much larger bloc like European Union. So Brussels have the advantage of having all of these countries that it represents. They are able to do certain things, but despite of their coming out with their tariff policies against this thing, without that thing, there is already certain amount of damage. But if European Union were to retaliate even further, you could expect even much more of an effect in the economy.
Yeah, but you're talking about China there. Do you not think China, their economy is built on the idea of exporting what they make? That the biggest export market in the world that they export to would not give a certain amount of leverage to cut a deal with them?
No. China already have in the past, they have been diversifying and becoming less reliant on the United States. They've been actually trading much more within the Asian country. That reflected in the stock market. So European stock market fell, United States stock market fell, the Chinese stock market is still holding up. So, but yeah, the thing with like Vietnam and so forth, even if Vietnam decides that they want to lower their tariff, well, China has actually bypassed the first Donald Trump's tariff by moving some of his factories and so forth to other regions. So even if Vietnam wants to do that, well, if it does agree with that, well, China sort of wins by able to supply from Vietnam into the United States.
Do you really think Thailand and Indonesia is the same market for China to sell to versus the United States? You really don't see a difference?
There's a lot of complexity here. Like the global trade network is really complicated, right? So what's Donald Trump is doing, imposing these tariffs like 10%, like Antarctica. As far as we know, that nobody actually lives there. What has the penguins and the seals done to Donald Trump?
I would say Steve's questions kind of reflect something I said earlier, where the idea is that, we're levying these tariffs against them, and because we're the largest market, they're going to have to do something. I think it misses the fact that mentality misses the fact that the tariffs, one, are going to be paid for by American producers, right? The companies like the Walmarts, the Apples that have to take these things from the port, number one. Number two, because these are American producers that have to pay the higher prices, it's also American business people who are going to suffer from these tariffs. Not just, not some random guy in China or random factory owner in China. This is a broadside not just against the Chinese economy, but American entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
because
but that's on the
suffer as well. So I say that to say this.
Hola, losers.
Has some degree of
¿Cómo
leverage,
estás,
but
mis
his leverage is really
amigos?
diminished by the fact